Yeah, light's still broken, and I ain't fixing it. What is up, football fans? Week 11 of the picks. Last week was another week of just craziness. Absolute craziness. When it came to the picks, I did absolutely horrid, but we're going to jump into the picks. Again, sponsored and presented by mybookie.ag. Go check them out. Use the promo code DouglieDoWrong. You get double your first deposit. You can bet anything and everything there, from boxing to MMA to NFL, NBA, all that good stuff. Go over, check them out. Use the promo code DouglieDoWrong, capital D-O, wrong, and you get double your first deposit. Again, last week, I bad. I picked favorites, I guess you could say. I picked teams that you're like, they're going to win. They're definitely going to win. And they didn't win. I went 6-7. My father also went 6-7. So I'm sitting on the season at 95-55. My father's sitting at 86-63. And here are the top 5 of the Pick'em League. Number 1 is Fitz Up Switzerland. He's sitting at 148. Tied for second is Puppet Master at Works. If you don't know, that is Master at Works. He did join our Pick'em League, sitting at 99-50. Denzo 239 fins up, also tied second place at 99-50. And then we have a 3-way tie at 4th place with D-Ray, ESPN Long Number, and Silver Mitch 2017 sitting there. Going into this week, if you notice, the pick video is coming out on a Wednesday. That's because we played on a Thursday. I was able to edit and upload the film breakdown on Monday. But this upcoming week, it's going to be crazy town because I'm going to the game. So the post games might be a little later, this and that. It's going to be a little crazy. But let's jump into tomorrow's game, which is the New England Patriots taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons got the blunt of a very angry Cowboys team, getting completely destroyed 43-3. Cowboys were like, I can't believe we got beat by the Broncos 30-0 at home. Here comes Atlanta. We're gonna put a beating down on you. And you have New England putting a beating. So many teams dropped 40 points last week. New England dropping 45 on Cleveland. I'm picking New England in this one. My father's picking New England. And again, my bookie, if you go over there, they show the spread. Atlanta's getting 6.5. I don't think that's enough. I'm still going with New England, even with the point spread. Then we have the New Orleans Saints, who barely lost to the Tennessee Titans, taking on those Philadelphia Eagles, who beat the Broncos. I actually picked the Broncos last week. That was one of my losses. I'm going with the Saints in this one. I like the Saints defense better. And their offense is kind of stuttering there. I don't think the offense could get it done, but I think the defense has enough to stop Philly and get the win. So I'm going with the Saints. My father's going with the Eagles. He probably thinks completely different. And the spread is very small. Being that it's in Philly, they are only giving 1.5 to New Orleans, so I'm still going to go with New Orleans in that one. I think worst case, it might be a field goal game. Then we have the Washington football team beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. Good for you, Washington. Heineke over there doing his thing, taking on the Cam Newton-led Carolina Panthers. He didn't do much, but he did give them 2 touchdowns, and he says, I'm back. Now, I'm hearing that they're trying to get him more involved. I'm hearing that they're getting him more practice time with running with the ones. He'll probably be a full go and probably be like back to normal when they take on the Dolphins next week. But Carolina winning last week, beating the crap out of the Cardinals, who were without Kyler Murray. I'm going with Carolina. So is my father. And Carolina is giving Washington 3.5, being that they are the home team. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts beat up on the Jaguars. It is what it is. There's nothing to really cheer about there. But another team that got beat by a team that they shouldn't have came back and just took it out on their next team. And that is the Buffalo Bills, who beat 45-17 down on them Jets. They were like, we cannot believe we lost to the Jaguars. Jets, sorry, you're going to have to take this beating. Me and my dad are going with Buffalo here. Buffalo Bills are just the better team here, especially because, again, on mybookie.ag, go check them out. They're giving 7.5 points. I would still go with Buffalo in this one. I think that they're getting on that roll where they're going to play in another bad team. Not that Indy is bad, but just not on the level of Buffalo. So I'm picking Buffalo. Then we have the Lions, 0-8-1. And what I did with me and my dad's bookkeeping for that game is just a push. That's what ESPN does. So I just didn't count the game. But they tied. And the Lions could have won that game 400 different ways. And could have beat Pittsburgh 400 different ways. At least they didn't lose, but they didn't win. Taking on Cleveland, who I just said got beat. If this was Madden, they would just skunk rule. You're done. See you later. But I'm going with Cleveland. So is my father's actually going Detroit. Sorry, Detroit is getting 10. But I'm still going Cleveland here. I don't know what's going on with Baker. I don't know if he's going to be good or not, but I'm going with Cleveland there. Then we have the 49ers, who the Miami Dolphins have their first round pick. So I was like, Rams are going to beat them. And then, it's a 5-6. We would have been close because the Dolphins have the 5th overall pick now, which the Eagles had. But the 49ers beat the Rams. Come on, LA. I'll talk about you guys. Actually, no, I won't because you guys are on a bye. What a good time to go on a bye. 49ers taking on the Jaguars. I wish the Jaguars would surprise them and beat them. I doubt it. Me and my dad are going to the 49ers. Also, they're giving the Jags 6.5. So even going off the point spread from my bookie, I would still go with the 49ers. Just good for them. Completely beating up on the Rams. They add, being that I'm not going to pick their game because they're on a bye week. I might as well talk some smack on them. They add Von Miller. They add Odell. It's just the Madden team of the NFL, and they stunk it up. So me as a Dolphin fan, that you should have beat the 49ers to help us out, I'm mad at you. Then we have the Houston Texans, who have only won one game, taking on those Tennessee Titans, who are doing pretty well. Barely beating them Saints last week. Me and my dad are going Tennessee, doing well without Derrick Henry. Adrian Peterson is doing well, and they are home. They are giving Houston 10 points. I think it'll be more than a 10-point game, so regardless, I am going with Tennessee. Then we have the Green Bay Packers, who, for the first time and I think twice in his career, held Seattle to no points. 17-0. At one point, it was 3-0. That game was long and long and long. And the Minnesota Vikings coming out and beating those Chargers. Good for Minnesota. I'm going with Green Bay. I still like the way Green Bay's rolling. I like the way they're rolling with Aaron Rodgers. They're starting to get back in their groove. I think Jones is out for about 2 weeks, but A.J. Dillon was still doing his thing. I'm going with Green Bay. My father's going with Green Bay. And Green Bay's only giving Minnesota 2 points. Even though the Minnesota is the home team, they're only giving them 2 points. So it's going to be a tight game, but I'm still going to go with Green Bay even with the spread. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Chicago Bears. Chicago coming off a bye week. Baltimore getting some extra time to heal up, playing on a Thursday night, losing to the Dolphins 22-10. How you doing? I'm going with Baltimore in this one. Baltimore's the better team. They're not going to have to deal with that Dolphin defense, sending that zero blitz at them 31 times. How you doing? But I'm going with Baltimore. My father's also going with Baltimore, and they're giving the Chicago Bears 6. I still think they'll win by more than a touchdown. I'm going Baltimore. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming off of a bye, taking on those Raiders who... I'll talk about Kansas City in a second, but yikes. I'm going with Cincinnati in this one. This is tight. That division's tight. A lot of 5-win teams. This is going to be big for if either team wants to make the playoffs. For me, it kind of benefits the Dolphins regardless of who loses, because whoever wins the division, there's 3 playoff spots. So if, and again, I'm not saying it's likely, but if the Dolphins have any chance and they run the table, we need some of these 5-win teams to start losing. So I'm going to Cincinnati, but in actuality, I'd probably want to go with Raiders, because if the Dolphins and the Raiders have the same score, they win in the tiebreaker. But I'm going Cincinnati. I think they're the better team. My dad's going with the Raiders. He thinks they're a better team, and it's push. No points are given on this one, which I think is interesting. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals, who might have Kyler Murray back, because last week, that was bad. They got beat bad by that Carolina Panthers team, taking on another team that got beat bad in Seattle Seahawks, didn't score a point. I'm going Carolina. My dad's going with Seattle. I think the Carolina Cardinals, if they can get their stuff together, if Kyler can come back, and if they can get, healthy again, I think they'll win this game. It is in Seattle. I think that's the reason my father's going with Seattle. But Seattle's getting 2.5. They're not giving, they're getting 2.5. So I find that interesting. I'm still going with Arizona. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys, came off a huge win, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, who came off a huge win. Now the division leaders in the AFC West. This is going to be a good game. This should be flexed to Sunday night, but it is not. I'm going with KC. My father's going with Dallas. Either or, it's a very good game. KC is giving Dallas 2.5. They are the home team. It's going to be a fantastic game to watch at 4:25. I'll probably just be getting home around 5 o'clock, so I might catch the night game, but going to be a fantastic game. Speaking of the night game, you have this Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Chargers. 5-3-1, taking on 5-4. Chargers are home. Chargers are giving 5 to the Steelers. I'm going with the Chargers. My dad's going with the Steelers. Chargers defense is garbo, but their offense is pretty good, so I think that's what it's all going to come down to, and we'll see if Ben Roethlisberger's back for the Steelers in that one. Then we have the Monday night game, the New York Giants, who were on a bye, got some R&R, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are licking their wounds after losing 29-19 to the Washington football team. It's a Monday night game. I think Tampa Bay being home, I'm picking them, so it's my father, and they're giving the Giants 10.5. I think Tampa Bay is going to be a little pedo, so I think go with that one. And then the game I will be at, the Miami Dolphins heading here to New Jersey to take on the New York Jets, who, again, defense isn't that great. Look at a bunch of their games. They've given up a ton of points. My dad's picking the Dolphins. He always picks the Dolphins. It worked for him last week. See if it works for him this week. If you guys want to know who I pick, you have to wait till Friday. I'm going to try to get 2 Jet YouTubers on to help me break this game down. And again, no live stream for this game. I will be at the game. But like usual, guys, be sure to comment below. If you picked who I picked you for, against, all that stuff, comment below. Let me know what you think of the picks, and I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. And this comment comes from FinsFan14, and he says, comment of the day. Do you think that Flores might have saved his job from what we saw last night? And this was on the video where my post game to the Dolphins-Ravens game. Some people think it's a little premature to fire Brian Flores. Some people think we should fire Brian Flores. I'm not going to go into full detail if the Dolphins should or should not fire Brian Flores, just like I'm not going to go into detail on if they should or shouldn't, or who they should and shouldn't resign. That is all end of the year stuff. That is all, about 9 weeks from now or whenever. I'm not talking about that stuff now. But answering your question, not necessarily. I think he's on a 2-game winning streak. I think beating the Ravens the way he did showed that this team is capable of beating good teams. This team is capable of playing good football on one side of the ball. But we've also seen against the Falcons, against the Jaguars, against other teams that they are capable of playing good football on the offensive side of the ball. Him as a head coach, he needs to take that good from the defense or good from the offense and put it together in a good football game. And that's where the knock is on Brian Flores. And that's where these past 2 games, the win against the Texans and the win against the Ravens, the defense was fantastic. The defense is the reason we won those 2 games. You're the head coach. What's going on the offense? You need to focus on the offense as hard as you focus on the defense. So do I think it saved his job? If he is on the hot seat, and if it is true, whatever you're hearing, no. I think it's too soon to debate, because he can lose the next, 7 games that are left? Yeah, he can lose the next 7 games and only win 3 games, and that is still cause for firing. Or he can go on a 7-game winning streak or a 9-game winning streak potentially make the playoffs. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, okay, we're not going to fire you, but what took you so long to make these moves? That is where it all stems from. That is the problem. And then you also have to think about the time we kept Joe Philman, the time we kept all these head coaches a year longer than we should have. We missed out on good candidates that went to other teams. So that's where, like, me as a person, I like to, like, all right, let's see them develop. And he had his one good year out of his three. Again, we don't know what this year is going to entail because it's not over yet, but he had last year. First year was a rebuild, so we gave him the 5 wins because he tore it down. Good for you for winning 5. Look at you winning 10. What the hell happened with the 7-game losing streak? That 7-game losing streak lost people's patience because of winning 10 last year. You should not have lost 7 straight, especially when the tools you had and the players and the schemes you had to fix it were readily available and you waited too long to use. So, and, for me to answer it right now, I necessarily wouldn't say it saved his job because it's only a 2-game winning streak, so there's still more season left to play. But would I fire him? It's too soon to tell for any of that. We'll see where we're at later on in the year. But I can see both sides of the spectrum. I can see people that want to fire him because what a drastic shift has happened, and most of it was his fault. It has nothing to do with injuries. It has nothing to do with, getting cheated no, it has to do with a lot of the moves he made in the offseason or lack thereof that we were put in a place. And also the fact that the play calling and the assistants he brought in and but then I also see the flip where if he fixes it and rights the ship, then it's like, well, he realized what he did wrong, maybe see what he can do another year. So I don't know. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. But again, I'm not the owner. I don't have much say in what happens or what doesn't happen. So, but I hope I answered your question. I will see you guys on Friday with the preview of the Dolphins taking on the Jets. And then I will see you guys for all the people that are going to the game. I'll let you know. I'm not going to be vlogging. I'm not going to be live streaming at the game. I'm going to vlog it all. So I'm going to put out a video probably Monday, kind of the video of the vlog of who I met and all that stuff. And if you took pictures with me during the game, please tag me, whether you post it on Twitter or Instagram. But yeah, I'll see you guys Friday, and then I'll physically see some of you Sunday at the game. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. F ends up.